So good, President Trump is predicting a terrific relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
That's among the president's first comments as both leaders kicked off their unprecedented summit today. KCON9 political reporter Dave Bryan has more on this historic day in world affairs. Dave?
Yeah, they couldn't have been more enthusiastic. More handshakes together than I've seen in years, although it could take years to hammer out a workable agreement, President Trump and Kim Jong-un were gushing with energy and enthusiasm that both countries could get what they want out of this. No one expects this brief summit in Singapore will solve much right away, but it certainly could set a positive tone to get the ball rolling on real solutions to North Korea's nukes and other issues. With still cameras clicking furiously, it was a moment of high drama on the world stage in Singapore as President Trump and North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un became the first leaders of their countries to ever meet one another in person. They clasped one another's hand in a lengthy handshake and then turned to face the cameras before walking down the porticos of the hotel to begin their summit. History already made from the first moment. As they sat for one last photo op before the talks began, both parties told reporters they're optimistic about the outcome.
I feel really great. We're going to have a great discussion and I think tremendous success. And we will have a terrific relationship, I have no doubt.
It has not been easy to come to this point. For us, the past has been holding us back, and old practices and prejudices have been covering our eyes in years. But we have been able to overcome everything to arrive here today.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo accompanied President Trump and other administration officials to a working meeting with the North Koreans.
President Trump is going into this meeting with confidence, a positive attitude, and eagerness for real progress.
And there is plenty of work to be done. The U.S. is demanding the dismantling of North Korea's nuclear weapons program, but the president is not expected to address North Korea's human rights record, which is filled with abuses. In return, the U.S. may offer Kim sanctions relief and security assurances. Later at the working meeting, President Trump told the North Korean leader he's optimistic the problems between the two countries can be addressed.
And we'll solve a big problem, a big dilemma that until this point has been unable to be solved. I know that working together we will get it taken care of. So, thank you very much.
In his response, Kim Jong-un said both sides have worked hard to overcome the skepticism and negative speculation that this meeting would never work. And he, too, says he hopes the two sides can continue to surprise the doubters. Former UN Ambassador Bill Richardson, an expert on North Korea, says he would also like to see progress on issues like human rights violations.
I'd like to see some progress on getting the remains of our soldiers from the Korean War back to their families. I'd like us to see just a general normalization of relations, easing of tensions between North and South Korea and Japan. Japan's been left out. I know that's a long list, but all of that is achievable.
Now, on their walk down the colonnade at the hotel before the meeting began, Kim Jong-un's translated words to President Trump were that many people around the world think this is some kind of a fantasy from a science fiction movie. Both men have insisted for public consumption, at least so far, that they could surprise the world, that this is an honest attempt to fix their problems, not a fantasy, and not a science fiction movie. So there you go, huh?
Yeah, Dave, beyond the denuclearization, what about the political component with what's going on in Singapore right now? How's that going so far?
Well, there are plenty of components, I can tell you. From Kim Jong-un's position, this is already a political victory. Appearing on a world stage with the President of the United States, the most powerful and important country in the world, gives Kim political status that he and his country never had before. For President Trump, the political dimension is a little riskier and more difficult. If this whole political drama falls apart quickly and nothing else is accomplished, Trump's critics will have a field day blasting the president for allowing a third-rate dictator to put one over on him and embarrass the United States. But if enough can be done on even one issue, denuclearization, for example, to make a difference, even if it's not 100% fixed, it would still be a great victory for Mr. Trump that no other president has been able to do. Jeff, Lena, back to you.